Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 Battle Royale is shaping up, and it's a doozy. In this corner, we have the presumptive Democrat nominee Kamala Harris, fresh from a staged Doritos buy that went worse than a gas station sushi dinner. And in the other corner, we have the GOP golden boy Donald Trump riding high on polls and packing arenas like it's 2016 all over again. But here's the question. Is this landslide of support for Trump a crystal ball for 2024? Or is Kamala playing possum while the DNC pulls strings behind the curtain? Now listen up. While the 2024 race heats up, smart investors are looking at a different kind of future. I'm talking about copper. World Copper Limited is sitting on a gold mine, 7 million tons of copper to be exact. We're talking about potential revenue of over $200 million before full production even begins. So as green tech demand soars, so will copper prices. It's like knowing the election results before a single vote is cast. World Copper, it trades as WCU on the TSX Venture and WCUFF on the OTC. Remember, always do your own research, because in politics and investing, foresight is your most valuable asset. You'll find the link to their whole proposal down in the description. Now let's jump into it. Health Ranger, right off the bat, just a few hours ago. He calls this 100% theater. And that is exactly what it is. Political theater. This is just pure cringe. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz got caught staging their Doritos purchase at a Sheetz in Pennsylvania. What makes it even worse is they filmed this event twice, and Kamala Harris requested corn nuts in the video she released, and Tim Walz gave her Doritos instead, so they improvised. This is the problem when you create a script. If someone doesn't follow it, you make a fool of yourself. Let's watch.
Ah, Dougie, there they are. Yeah, thank you.
I know you want those.
Oh, Dougie.
You see corn nuts over there,
Isn't this it?
Yeah, that's
There you go.
Wow. Take two.
Or I'm outside.
Take two. Yeah, completely staged. Salty Cracker weighing in. What's up, Salty Army? In California, our Doritos are $20 a bag and locked behind glass because of her policies. And Tim Walz writing, some kind of folksy little tweet here. Every road trip needs a snack break. Doritos acquired. I got you, Kamala. Right. But meanwhile, in Illinois, Steve Cortez posted this. He says, watch this Illinois grocery store owner rip Kamala Harris Marxist price-fixing scheme. You heard about this, right? We've covered it here. Reporter, you've been in the grocery game. When you heard about Kamala's plan to fix prices, what went through your head?
You've been in the grocery game. When you heard about Harris's idea to fix prices and to stop price gouging, what went through your head?
I just thought she was trying to throw things against the wall to see what's going to stick. And they can't really squeeze too much more between that and then the minimum wage hikes that we get. Nothing else. It can't go.
You were talking to me about the different factors that go into changing prices in the grocery store. What have you been seeing? I know eggs have been a hot topic throughout the past few years that have contributed to this that she's not really looking at when creating this plan.
Exactly. I mean, you have to be able to raise and lower prices as they come in. I mean, the eggs go up and down maybe every week. And like we said, we had the commodity eggs that came in, and there's, because of the avian flu, there's no supply. So Actually, the farm-raised eggs are almost at that price level now for selling. We can adjust that. If you have fixed prices, what do? And the government's going to come in and say, you're out of line, they write a fine. You can't do it like that. So you have to, as a grocer, you have to be able to adjust daily.
Thank you, Barb. Good to see you.
Yeah. And Kamala's America ain't going to look like that. Now, J.D. Vance weighing in, Donald Trump Jr. posting.
Service is before the end of the campaign, Tim Walz is going to be talking about how he was carrying an M16 through the jungles of Vietnam But this guy, everything that comes out of his mouth about his military service is at least 25% a lie. And, you know, it occurred to me, the closest Tim Walz has ever come to combat, even though he says he carried a weapon in war, the closest Tim Walz has ever come to combat is when he let rioters burn Minneapolis to the ground a few years ago, right?
Yep, 100% agree with that. Now, staying in this topic of the price fixing, let's listen.
That's how you get. Here's what I think the right message is and why.
This is the former SEC chairman, Jay Clayton, on Kamala's Soviet-style price-fixing scheme, calling it absolute lunacy. Listen.
Here's what I think the right message is and why I expect that the Trump message is going to be more appealing when you look at it closely, which is, where does growth come from? Growth can come from a couple of things. Energy. If we have lower energy costs, that's going to reduce, the impact on consumers. It's also going to foster growth. If we continue to be tech leaders, when we're tech leaders, we get the benefit of growth around the globe. We only have 360 million people. There's 8 billion people in the world. When they get hooked in to a digital economy, we all benefit greatly. Capital allocation. We're better at allocating capital than anybody else in the world. 4% of the world population, we allocate over 50% of the world's government. Focus on those things and competence in government. That's how you get real growth. That's how you get real wage growth for the people in the middle 80% of the economy. Yeah. This idea that you're going to go out and sort of say some prices are good and some prices are bad, right. It's lunacy. But
it is lunacy. Continuing with our coverage of the lunacy, Ian Yeager posting, the World Health Organization reportedly instructed world governments to prepare for lockdowns due to monkeypox outbreak. It did get community noted that as of August 14th, they have declared monkeypox to be an international public health emergency, but not called for such lockdowns. Not yet. Now, let's see. There was, in this clip here is Trump War Room posting. Oh, Jesse Jackson's in a wheelchair now? DNC just gave standing ovation to Reverend Jesse Jackson. Well, there was a clip here. What? Holy cow. Captured video of Thomas Crooks. Totally catching me off guard right now. There he is. Wow, I'm going to go ahead and bookmark that one. It's amazing what just pops up in your feed sometimes. But I missed the clip. There was a clip of pretty much empty seats at the DNC, probably as they were getting started. But take a look at this shot from the rally in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Standing room only. One America News posting this. Nick Sortor tweeting the video. Look at that. Look at that audience. Look at that crowd. Look at that crowd. And I'm willing to bet that they weren't responding to a Craigslist ad either. Here's some good news. Let's get to some more good news. Donald Trump is destroying Kamala Harris on social media. It is not even close. Donald Trump posting this to his Truth Social. 48-hour review, policy TikToks. Donald Trump, 100 plus million impressions on all platforms in 48 hours. President Trump, 31.7 million views. Kamala Harris, 975,000 views. In TikTok on 48 hours. Not bad. Not bad at all. Here's some more good news for you. This was published. Adam Lowitz, a friend of mine, he says, OMG, Kamala is tanking her own campaign by appealing to progressives. She picked a very left-wing VP. She wants to seize patents, put price controls on every other thing, and hand out $25,000 to people by stealing from others. No wonder she came in last place in the 2020 primary. Trump leads Harris by 4% nationally. This is according to Election Time. Rasmussen poll conducted this. They have consistently been among the most accurate in both 2016 and 2020. Looks like the number of people polled, 1,800 people between the dates of August 8th and the 14th. Donald Trump is still leading. Obviously not as big as it was with Joe Biden, as we've been talking about that previously. Trump was just trouncing Biden. They bring in Kamala to close the gap so that when the steal occurs, it doesn't look as obvious. It's the steal is more believable to the general public who watches CNN and MSNBC, or just isn't generally paying attention at all, or just don't even care. But you care. Another interesting point here. Kamala walked into a convenience store. This is going back to the original video here. Looking for the President Trump experience. Remember, President Trump just makes these impromptu stops. Buys everyone burgers, pizzas, milkshakes, whatever. Kamala walks into a convenience store looking for that experience, and no one cared. And there were some reports that they kicked everybody out so they could film this thing without any, because they want it scripted. They want it controlled. Oh, this is great too. This is great. Jack Posobiec posting this. I'm going to ask you guys, what is she saying here? What is the answer that Kamala Harris is actually saying here? Listen to the question and listen to her answer. 100% word salad.
Yeah. Can you explain how you're going to pay for those? And can you give us a sense of what other policies you want to unveil going forward?
Sure.
If you didn't hear that, he asked, you unveiled your economic policies last week. Can you tell us how we're going to pay for it?
I mean, you just look at it in terms of what we are talking about, for example, around children and the child tax credit and extending the EITC. It's at $6,000 for the first year of a child's life. The return on that investment in terms of what that will do and what it will pay for will be tremendous. We've seen it when we did it in the first year of our administration. We reduced child poverty by over 50%. So that's a lot of the work. And then what we're doing in terms of the tax credits, we know that there's a great return on that investment. And when we increase home ownership in America, what that means in terms of increasing the tax base, not to mention property tax base, what that does to fund schools, again, return on investment. I think it's a mistake for any person who talks about public policy to not critically evaluate how you measure the return on investment. When you are strengthening neighborhoods, strengthening communities, and in particular the economy of those communities, and investing in a broad-based economy, everybody benefits, and it pays for itself.
It pays for itself. It pays for itself. That's what she's trying to say. Oh, really? No. She's just trying to say, oh, because it's going to get better here, it's going to get better everywhere. That is communism. But she doesn't really answer the question. This is par for the course for Kamala Harris. And this was totally bizarre. Saw this today. Alex Jones, Putin just dropped a bombshell decree inviting people from across the globe who are fed up with the globalist neoliberal nightmare to seek sanctuary in traditional Russia. This new decree blows the lid off the establishment's agenda by letting freedom-loving folks bypass the usual bureaucratic nonsense like language tests or history exams if you're ready to reject the insane policies of your home countries that push the destructive anti-human neoliberal agendas. Russia is rolling out the red carpet. The Russian government's about to compile a list of countries poisoning minds with these twisted ideals, and the foreign ministry is gearing up to issue visas to true patriots as soon as September. It's time to stand up for spiritual and moral values. Russia didn't see that coming today. Donald Trump weighing in, crime in America is out of control. I'm going to make it. Along with the economy, inflation, strong borders, and energy dominance, my top priority. Democrats are holding their convention in Chicago in order to showcase it, and yet 117 people were shot, 17 killed on the 4th of July weekend, 40 were shot this weekend. It's a war zone and will be handled accordingly. I will bring crime in America down to a tiny fraction of what it is today. Mothers will no longer be losing their children because weak liberal politicians have given up on securing crime. Free USA. I will stop violent crime in America. Laura Loomer posting this. New CBS poll out this morning has President Trump leading Kamala Harris on the major issues. Thank God. And this is CBS, mind you. The choice for president, a major factor in the vote, the economy, inflation, U.S.-Mexico border. President Trump, 56, 61, 76% on the border. Harris, 43, 38, 24%. See, these are the issues that people care about, not bathrooms. Okay? Not the drag queens. Not abortion. They care about how they're going to pay for their meals, how they're going to pay their mortgage, how they're going to put gas in the car to get to work. That's what matters, folks. Not these staged moments. You have any corn nuts over there, Tim? Oh, I got Doritos for you, Tim. Oh, but right at the beginning, there's the first soon-to-be, quote-unquote, first gentleman. Dare I say soon-to-be. Hey, come on, I got your Doritos right here.
There they are.
No, there they are. Oh, I love you so much. Creepy, cringy. So as we look ahead to the 2024 contests, the contrast couldn't be starker. Trump's leading in the polls, dominating social media, promising to tackle everything from crime to border security. Kamala, well, she's fumbling through convenience stores, pushing price controls that have economists reaching for the antacids and delivering speeches that sound like they were written by a malfunctioning AI. But here's the multi-million-dollar question. Are we witnessing the early stages of a Trump landslide, or is the DNC playing 4D chess while we're all distracted by Dorito-Gate? What is your prediction for 2024? Drop your election forecast in the comments below, because in this high-stakes political poker game, your voice could be the wild card that changes everything. Stay tuned, Patriots. This race is just getting started, and it's going to be one for the history books.